pals? How's it
Well,
going?
buddy.
New week, new episode,
buddy.
new locations.
Yeah, new locations.
Noah's globetrotting.
I've been traveling a little too much, but I'm not gonna lie.
Are you in Barcelona or Paris this week?
Oh my gosh.
I thought he was in Vienna.
Greece.
Vienna. Oh wait, is it
Greece.
London?
Greece. Jesus.
Oh.
Jesus.
my gosh.
Golly,
Oh.
my gosh. What's wrong with you guys?
No, we're in a pandemic.
Yeah, some of us, haven't been so privileged to travel as often.
I'm vaccinated. First of all, you just traveled too. Nnamdi back in the city.
Ooh.
You back in the city.
Hashtag City Boys.
How's it? No, seriously, how's it feel to be back in the city, bro? For real.
It's cool. It's hot. It's still kind of dirty, but I mean, it's cool.
It's New York. That's what's up, though. How about y'all? How everybody doing?
Chilling.
This is the most like cordial intro I think we've ever had. Look at us checking up on each other.
Yo,
How's
we
everyone
need some.
doing?
Hey, man, we got some positivity in here, bro. Like, it ain't always negative in here. Ain't not always arguments and
We like
Speaking
each
of,
other.
speaking of negativity, so J. Cole predicted who was going to get to their offseason early.
Yo, this kind of fire actually.
This is hilarious.
What if J. Cole was like sitting down, going through the analytics and the stats? He's like, yo, we gotta put these guys in the songs.
He was like, all these big dudes are about to be in the offseason in 2 weeks. Just wait.
He's like the Grizzlies, the Warriors, and the Wizards suck. So
Yeah,
they'd be
because
out.
wait a second. I'm trying to think of every song he mentioned because I don't remember him mentioning Curry and I don't remember him mentioning LeBron.
I remember him mentioning LeBron. I know he had
Ja Morant.
Dame. He had like
said
Dame
when-
on the intro to one of the songs.
Yeah. So I
Did he say
remember.
Curry. Where did he say?
I don't remember when he said Curry either. I don't remember because like on My Life he mentioned Ja Morant on My Grizzly. The
Right.
beginning of Punching the Clock, it was a Dame Lillard, the interview, and then Russell Westbrook. He said on another song. He said
I
something about
remember
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook. When did he say Steph Curry?
I don't remember. I don't remember LeBron either.
Well, maybe
Is
you
that
have
fake
the
news?
generic shoot my shot.
Yeah, shoot my shot. Yeah, shoot my shot. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but this is really interesting. J. Cole mentioned all these people who've been eliminated, and they're already in the offseason. So
Good on Cole. That's impressive.
is this the J. Cole curse now? Like, you know how the Drake curse
This is
like,
not we're not doing that off one album. Now
Yeah,
this
You're right. Drake has a track record. He has a long track record of
This is just an unfortunately titled album with
yeah.
some players that were mentioned and had unfortunate outcomes.
You
pretty
know,
good.
I don't like how
It's
whoever
pretty. It actually is shocking because he mentioned like some of the best players in the league in the house. So it's not like that normally wouldn't happen. So
I'm not sure when did he mention J. Cole, and I'm kind of mad now because I'm like all these write-ups and none of them include the actual lyrics or he references each.
yeah, I wish they had like a little thread. I wish this thread to see this post wasn't fire. This
You know,
post
this
wasn't
is
fire.
my journalist critiquing brain is
I know,
kicking
bro.
in, and I'm like,
It's like, yo, where's the genius links? Come on now, bro. Come on, get it together.
Right.
So yeah, but this was really interesting. So
kind of made me mad. That wasn't interesting. I guess J. Cole does. Hopefully, this isn't the start of the J. Cole curse. We don't need that. We don't need that energy.
He's good.
But okay, welcome to the 97 Demo Podcast. A nice, quick, and efficient intro there. We need to do more of those because most times we'd be dragging on for 20 minutes.
We get
where
better.
we give you the latest in music news, and a whole bunch along the way. A lot of reviews, fun topics. Today we're talking about a meme, I guess, that sort of went viral last week. A Mount Rushmore meme. We'll get to that.
No, it's not a meme. It's a real conversation.
It's a real conversation that started with the meme. Do you guys
Okay.
remember that viral meme last week about the Mount Rushmore from App Caviar, who's the Mount Rushmore of the 2010s? We're doing that for the 2020s, so stay tuned for that conversation because it's going to be really good
Yeah.
and insightful, I think.
It sparked some debate though on Twitter. So
It is. This started from a debate last week that crept onto our podcast, and now
It was our
it's
intro
an
last
episode.
Yeah.
It was our intro last week. Yeah. Did we do our names? I'm Nnamdi.
yeah, I'm Noah. What's up?
And I'm Avery.
I'm Avery.
And you're
I'm
watching,
Avery. And you're watching the 97 Demo Podcast.
streaming exclusively on Disney Plus.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get to our headlines. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. This story
This is
I
dope.
saw last week at the AJC, and I was a big fan of it. They're doing a Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame, similar to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This one's in Atlanta. And they've talked about the first crop of artists that they're going to be that they're going to add to this, incredibly honorable, like, Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Include some of the big names: James Brown, Otis Redding, Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones. And then some of the like newer artists who have gotten on that list, of course, you could probably guess some: Outkast, Beyonce, Missy Elliott, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, Usher, and Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll be the first group to be in this space. It's going to be right next to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. If anyone's from Atlanta knows where that is, it's where the Falcons play, downtown, smack dab. And I just think that's sort of amazing. It's like, I'm always hype with any effort to honor some of the people who really sort of not only does Black music, but got music to where it is now. And I think all of these artists have had a huge influence. So I think it's cool.
I'm totally with you, because I think we're at the point with like Black music where like, even though we still look like for the appreciation for like the Grammys, even like the Walk of Fame, or even like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which they don't just do rock and roll, like they put other artists in there. Like, you don't always have
like
to,
Jay-Z's in that now.
Yeah, Jay-Z. Remember NWA got in like a couple years ago. I think Ice Cube maybe got in. Stuff like that. And it's like we don't have to wait for those things for it to be validation. Like you're like, oh my gosh, it's still you in the Rock Hall of Fame. It's not real. It's like no. Yeah. So.
The thing that's interesting about this to me is they're doing this twice a year. So this is a twice yearly effort, because basically I guess they were telling people who were upset that their favorite artist didn't make this list, like, hey, just wait.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. I feel like they could do this like solely for Atlanta artists too if they wanted to.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was going to be. That's what I thought it was going to be, but I'm cool with Black artists because
absolutely,
Black Mecca kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm cool with that too. But to the Atlanta point, I would have liked to see Sierra in this first list. I feel like Sierra doesn't often get her due praise, and I saw a tweet about some of her hits, and I'm like, wow, Sierra really has been in the game since 2004, and like kind of has been consistent and giving us a hit every now and then. But I think she can be in that next group. I can definitely see it.
Yeah. So.
We forget. There was a time Sierra was in the conversation with Beyonce. I mean, she didn't win that conversation, but she was in the conversation.
She didn't win that conversation.
It was a conversation.
Yeah, it was definitely a conveation. That song with Bow Wow, I'm never gonna forget. What was that song with Bow Wow she had? Remember?
I remember that song. I don't want to.
That was a banger. That's an Atlanta banger right there. But
a classic.
Classic. That is a classic. Bow was gonna use that in Versus.
Oh, he's definitely gonna use that. So Demi Lovato's back in the news. And not
the exact opposite of what we just talked about.
Yeah, it's honestly a continuation of a story we talked about. And unfortunately, I wish I was talking about her performance at one of these award shows. I think it was the iHeartRadio. There was a tribute to someone. The name's escaping me, and Demi Lovato was in that. And, the girl can sing. That has not changed. But unfortunately, what we're talking to you about today is her diet culture controversy sort of saw a little bump in attention again. For those of you who didn't follow that story, Demi Lovato got into a little online beef with a small frozen yogurt shop.
Picking on someone.
Yeah,
small yogurt shop in LA. She accused them of promoting diet culture by offering sugar-free
I think it's
items.
Also important to mention that like that story was like in the New York Times or LA Times. It wasn't like just a
This exploded into a larger conversation about what the responsibility should be on businesses, but also how people with Demi Lovato's platform should use that platform. Because it did come off to a lot of people sort of attacking the small business during a pandemic, which just wasn't a good link. Not to mention it happened during like her album release, which also was sort of bad. But anyway, this has sort of come back up again, that controversy, because Demi Lovato at the iHeartRadio Award,
iHeartRadio Music Awards.
Yes. Okay. So she was doing promo. One of the promotional people she had to talk to was Dr. Pepper, but it was Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, whatever that drink is. So it was a sugar-free drink. So now we have pictures of Demi Lovato doing an interview where she may be getting a bag or maybe, increasing her exposure.
Oh, I guess.
And with the backdrop of Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar holding a mic.
I guess Demi Lovato's pronouns are they, them.
So excuse me. That is true. Excuse me. We're definitely not trying to be disrespectful there.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. But now they are kind of in some hot water over this, because it's sort of like you were against this when it was a little small business trying to do their thing. And now, albeit this may have been a mandatory like press thing, it does look some kind of way that you're now sort of, you know what I mean? Like
this feels like a lot. This feels like overkill to get mad at them about, though. Like,
I don't think anyone's.
It's not like they were like holding the drink or like drinking it or like actively like in a commercial for them. Like they were just like holding a microphone and a like a step and repeat behind them.
Well, you know what this feels like, and I feel like this is, you know, when I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it all together. I'm gonna bring it back. Remember when the China stuff was going on with the NBA, and remember LeBron got a lot of stuff. He was like, I feel like the NBA should, you know, it's like, I feel like we should stay out their business, da da da. And it was like, oh, LeBron can't do that because he's popular in China. He has so many business ventures in China, and da 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 da. You make money, and it's like, and people got on him, but it's like, yo, if you were making so much money off of something, you know, I get somebody being like, yo, protecting their business, you know, based off how much money they're making. So like Demi Lovato doing this, I'm not like that mad about it. Like she's getting a huge bag off of this. And what she did with the yogurt shop was super annoying and very uncalled for, in my opinion. But like, honestly, I don't care enough to be like, oh, this bag she's getting from Dr. Pepper, even though it's solely like, you know, the points are going against each other, but it just, I don't care enough. Cause then what I felt like from that yogurt shop thing, most people on the yogurt shop side, they were like, yo, I love this shop, go support it, da da da. They got a lot of press off that. And I feel like they came out of that shop, you know, out of that thing kind of clean. So
I think this story is sort of just shows me, I think it sort of builds off what Avery said. It's like sort of the absurdity of people sort of getting upset at Demi Lovato over this, I think highlights the absurdity of Demi Lovato getting upset at the small business.
Absolutely.
This whole thing about
absolutely.
It is made though. I think the only reason why you're even seeing anyone talk about this is because it highlights just why that was such a silly argument for you know, claiming the shop was pushing diet culture. Because now it's like, well, are we gonna say Demi Lovato is pushing diet culture because they, you know, did this event? And it's like, no. I think it just highlights why the whole thing was absurd in the first place.
Did they want Demi Lovato to see that iHeartRadio had diet or zero sugar Dr. Pepper as a sponsor and be like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this?
I mean, I think, but my thing is, I think when you sort of taking that stand and sort of that's what they were saying, it's like, yeah, I guess that is what you now expect.
That's also, I guess that's the other side of it, then that's also absurd.
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
So it's the whole thing.
It just shows how the whole story is silly. I agree with you. That's a good point. I like it.
Okay, cool. I like that. What do we have next? Oh, Complex. Okay, so normally I don't support any of these Complex rankings.
Yeah, and we normally
mid-year.
And we normally don't even do like this as a news thing, but like this is really interesting. Complex is always a big story.
I think we did it last year because last year we were mad. I don't remember why. I think they had like Eternal Take at like number one, and we were pissed.
They did have it. They did have it number one.
So I still don't really know if I agree with the order of this list, but I agree with their number one. So that's on. Let's talk about it.
You know what I want to say about Complex too is like Complex is a very urban. It is urban outlet. I really do enjoy
it. So before is it though?
No. Okay, let me say, okay, sorry, urban. But their lists normally do favor rap and hip hop and like that, you know, rap, hip hop. Would you agree? Like they really do favor that heavily, which is not a bad thing. I don't think that's a problem.
A pop album has to be really, 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 really good.
Yeah, exactly. Like last year they had a bunch of rap albums and then they had Fiona Apple in there. Remember?
Exactly, something like that, exactly. But I don't think that's a bad thing though. I don't think that's a bad thing because there's different outlets, they have different opinions and stuff like that. So yeah, just go through it because I think the top 15 is like where it gets really interesting.
I think we get to talk about who do we? I saw Saweetie, her little playlist thing on there. I thought that was sort of like
Brockhampton was on there.
I forgot Lil Yachty even put out a thing. Brockhampton was at 26, which felt a little bit low to me. I wish that was a little bit higher.
I agree, felt a little low.
I still think that's probably one of their better albums.
I agree, felt a little low to me, but that's fine. It's whatever. I'm not really offended by that, honestly.
Like, look, putting Slime Language 2 at 22 and then Brockhampton at 26 is an issue to me. Because I like Slime Language 2, but
it's a compilation, right? It's a compilation.
It's a compilation, and honestly, any like I think like label affiliate that has people like Lil Baby, Young Thug, and Gunna like all sporting. Like I just have a high bar.
And Drake
and Lil Uzi like is I just have a high bar. That's all that is.
It's just a song for hits, show off the artist, which is fine. So yeah.
Georgia Smith is at 19. I like that.
That's fine. I kind of like to have Pooh Shiesty there at 22. He's been a big artist.
A lot of rap. Jim Jones's album on here, which I haven't listened to this Jim Jones album, but it's gotten a lot of praise. I'm gonna check it out. That's at 18.
Young Nnamdi, Slow Tie.
Yeah, so the top 15 does get weird, Noah, to your point. Like I wouldn't have expected young Nnamdi there, but has anyone have any of us listened to the Young Nnamdi project?
I've listened to Young Nnamdi. I did enjoy this Slow Tie project though by Ty.
Wait, did you like the Young Nnamdi?
I haven't listened to it. I
I
know
thought you said I did listen to it.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I only know Young Nudie based off a couple songs from the Dreamville thing. So,
The Slow Tie album was good though.
The Slow Tie album was good. I remember Avery putting us onto that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Project of the week, and I was like, oh, this is really a lot better than I expected. So I really enjoyed it. I'm not mad about it. See, this is the type of thing Avery's talking about, like the big pop album.
And this is I think this is probably the only big pop album on this list, right? Unless I skipped someone?
Probably, yeah.
No,
they have Olivia Rodrigo, Sour at 12.
We only have one R&B album. We have Georgia, and then we have this, which is not rap. So yeah. So this next one, actually, I know this one, Arm & Hammer, The Alchemist. It's a really good album. So I didn't expect it to be on there, but Complex to me kind of be on the same wavelength when you get like in the top 10. I'm saying like in the top 10 and be like, oh, the really, really good albums that I actually listen to. So yeah.
I'm gonna check this out because the what they said about the Arm & Hammer album.
Yeah, Alchemist. I mean, Alchemist is always killing with the production. So
yeah.
I got Moray at 10. I haven't listened to this album, but he was good on the J. Cole.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah. Wait, this is him?
Oh, you know what, Moray? I'm gonna check. This. You want to know? This reminds me of the Chicago freestyle effect for Giveon because like I'm checking out Moray off of my life.
I'm checking this out now because I was like, yo, Moray, he sounded great on that.
He sounded great. He honestly was a big part of why that song was what that song was what it was.
That hook was great. Number 9, I think we all really enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Conway, yeah, that felt like a good spot for it. But you're gonna be. I think Plugs has an even better spot.
I was shocked. Yeah, it was.
And a lot of people, I've heard the opposite from a lot of people. Stuff.
Forgot about this one. Number 6, Justin Bieber.
Oh, no, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. I saw that and I was like, this is that stuff I'm talking about with Olivia Rodrigo should not. But here's why I'm split. When we reviewed this album, we talked about how this is actually a really good album. We said that. But it's like the last sentence in here where it's one jarring aspect of justice, the inclusion of Martin Luther King Jr. speeches at interludes, which is just out of place on an album that's for the most part a love letter to Haley. I just weighed that way heavier than I think everyone else did.
No, I think it's a big deal because if you have a thread that's going through that doesn't connect at all with like what the song's about, it's a detriment to the album. Like if you have something that's not supposed to be there and doesn't make any sense, I know Nnamdi has a.
Not to mention, it was called Justice on the heels of a racial reckoning. Like how tone deaf.
Justin Bieber does not deserve this attention.
Number 6, what's next?
Number 5. This is actually my project of the week.
Spoilers.
So.
Spoiler.
Hey, I don't mind. It's a great album. I'll talk about it later.
Now this makes sense. Hotel Jasmine. So this was great, and I feel like I want to re-listen to it because I don't feel like he got enough attention. Well, it did get attention when it came out, but I think people sort of forgot about it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I feel like it kind of came.
But I remember feeling like it was short. I remember feeling it was really good.
Yeah, it was a lot of tracks but short songs. So, yeah. Number 3.
I don't know if we're saying the number for our audio listeners. If we had to take that. Okay. That was number 4, Jasmine Sullivan.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear this? 3, Shelly FK Dram.
FK Dram, so the guy Dram who did the I Love to Cha Cha.
I heard really good things about
same guy. It's a really good. I've seen a lot of girls love this song in their playlist. I'm not mad about it though. It's like a R&B. He's kind of like on a different vibe kind of. He looks like a Rasta in here, which I'm not mad about.
I'm gonna check it out though because I've heard a lot of good stuff about this album. Yeah, I like the color.
Dram's a good artist, man.
Dram's a good artist. This number 2, I was actually surprisingly shocked about this. Being the Butcher and Harry Fraud, the Plugs I met too. You know what's so crazy? This is gonna be. I'm not gonna hide it. There's gonna be in my mid-year top 5 because I listened to
probably it so same. I like this album a lot.
I listened to it so freaking much, but I not expected to be like in a top 2, number 2 on the Complex list. But I'm not mad about it. But I was like, wow, really?
Griselda's probably gonna have a big showing on our mid-year, just to be honest, because my thing is both the Conway and this Benny album were so great. Good. I've heard a lot of people say they would have put La Maquina higher.
That's what I'm hearing. I hear a lot of people think they prefer the Conway.
They should have switched or something. But I I think I had this as my project of the week, like a week after Noah May or something. Yeah. Like we all really like this album. So
great gym album too.
But I mean, without further ado, let's see who number 1 is because that just made sense.
J. Cole, the offseason.
That just makes sense because they be dogging my dude Cole, but like really though, think about it. There's nowhere else you could have put this album than 1. Which one of these albums is getting over Cole for me?
Based off the list, the kind of list that they had, I'm not mad about this number 1 at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I expected this.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. A big release. It was a big release, and it was a good release. It's not like it was like really. It was a really good release, and I can still go back to this album, even though there's songs I'll skip. It's like, wow, this album's really great. You know, really solid all around. So, not mad at this at all. So, Complex.
Okay, Complex. There you go. That wasn't the worst list they've had. They've had far worse lists. Yeah, I will say that about Complex.
Absolutely. So,
new releases, got a couple big albums. Voice of the Heroes, a collab project with Lil Baby and Lil Durk. Brockhampton put out a deluxe and a whole bunch of singles. Billie Eilish, Bad Bunny. You guys, what did you listen to? What was your favorite? Let me know.
Avery.
Y'all, this Japanese breakfast album called Jubilee. It's so good. It's probably my favorite album of the year so far. She's crazy talented. I think I had her as like my project of the week a few weeks ago. Her album.
I listened to one of the songs that you put on our playlist.
Yeah, she was on a playlist a while ago, and that was a good song.
That was really good. Yeah.
And she, I don't know. It's just like I'm on like the high of like discovering a new artist, and then they release an album like right after you discover them. There's not many better feelings than that. So
I totally agree. Like, they just released a song. Where's the music? Oh, it's right here.
And it just comes. That's great. She also is an author. She's dropped a book, and I'm thinking about getting that too.
I read that. She's a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, our friend of the show, our correspondent, Mr. Grant Sharpless, said that it's pretty crazy that she has his favorite book and album of the year so far. So
I know
that's a talent.
Watch Grant about to interview her in 2 weeks, and if you're listening, just know that invite's waiting.
You got to be on here, bro. Exactly. There you go. So yeah, that's a good choice. For me, I'd say honestly, this Voice of the Heroes, Lil Baby and Lil Durk album, I checked it out.
I did too.
I mess with it. I mess with it. I really mess with it. What you think, Nnamdi? I mess with it.
So so I like it, right? I think it's good. Here's this look, and y'all
executively produced by James Harden.
I think I saw that, my eyes were. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, did you just pay for the studio time? Like, what does that mean?
He did nothing.
Like, DJ Khaled has introduced this new wave of people just claiming albums.
He's
and I'm
friends
like,
with
what did you do?
Yeah, he's friends with Lil Baby.
But look, what I'll say is I like this a lot. I just think the way I feel about an album with Lil Baby and Lil Durk is when you're two of like rap's sort of biggest, arguably right now, the bar is just high. Like right now, I mean, not jump. So I like their stuff. There's some songs that I feel like, I don't think it's as great as I wanted to. But Man of My Word, which is the song that has the two of them, I saved that already, like off rip. Like I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
I like the one with Travis Scott.
Yeah, they have good features. Yeah. I think it was cool.
It's cool. No, you know what's so great? I think we're just at the point where these collab albums are just like, it's kind of like getting washed. Like it's not special anymore.
If it's not real heart in it, and you're just doing it for a bag, we can tell. That's just how I feel about it.
No, exactly.
It's some projects that make sense because you can tell the artists really like kind of sync with each other. But I
think artists need to understand that their listeners are smarter. We can tell when y'all not recording in the same studio. We can tell when the energy's not there. We can tell when y'all emailing songs. We can tell. It's cool. It's fine. It works sometimes. Like we'll bang in the club, whatever. But like artists are smarter.
Clip this. We never clip moments from like our new release. Like that was good.
Yeah, but artists. Listeners. Listeners are smarter now. We can tell. Like Run the Jewels, they're in the studio together. We feel that energy. Lil Baby and Lil Durk, they might have been together, but I feel like they definitely emailed some tracks, which is fine. I'm not mad.
What if Run the Jewels replies to us and they're like, we actually have never met?
Yeah, actually.
No, they've met. Stop it. They've done.
No, you're right. I like that take a lot, Noah. Brockhampton, we reviewed their album really pretty quickly. Did y'all listen to the deluxe track, some of the new songs?
Yeah. I did.
They're cool.
They're cool. I think they're good. I just, me personally, I really prefer the short story album, like the short project. It works for me. The Light Part 2 is a perfect ending to the album for me. Mm-hmm. So, but these songs are just, just to get the fans hype. A lot of fans on Twitter were like, "Oh, we heard these songs a month ago, but I still mess with it." So,
that's half of the Drake releases when it's not an album. So it's
true. So yeah.
It was cool. I'm learning. I think it has taught me, I especially with the song Sex, which I just felt like, this just felt weird. It's too many of y'all for y'all to be doing this. Every lyric was like, and she's grinding on much. Like it was too much for me. But I'm also learning that not everyone in Brockhampton, and this isn't a huge slight, but they're not all on the same like level when it comes to rap ability. And I don't know why with this deluxe that just stood out to me. Like there's some bars where like, oh, you're killing it. Then there's other bars where I'm like, what did he just say? Like, and there's so many of them that it's hard to figure out, okay, who do I like and who am I not really vibing with? But I mean, it was cool. I mean, I hope it gives him a little chart push, because I did think that album did too low, in my opinion. Are there any, I want to highlight an album really quickly that I didn't write was an album, but I'm telling you it is. In Defense of My Own Regard from Joy Oladokun. I need to know how to say that name better. I'm Nigerian. There's no excuse. I will talk about it later, but it was really good. And I just discovered her. Avery, to your point, like about when you discover someone new and then you're like, oh, there's an album, and you get excited.
Yeah. And it's new and it just came out.
Yeah. So like that was that. We'll talk about that later. And then some singles too. We're gonna have to talk about Lost Cause, of course. That Billie Eilish's Random Wednesday drop. With the video that sounds different.
Let me ask both of you guys. Did you guys see the video first and were like, oh, I
saw it on Twitter.
I heard the song first.
Okay, so I saw the video and I didn't like click on it because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go listen to the song first. And I saw there like, it looked hype. I was like, oh,
it was 7-Eleven. It was very Beyonce 7-Eleven type of video.
Oh, that's a good.
I listened to it and it was very calm. It was pretty funny. I liked it. It was good.
It was cute though. She's with her girlfriend.
I texted Nnamdi texted me about it, and I said, I think Billie Eilish captures the chaotic Gen Z energy very well, and this was a very defining way to do that.
But you know, I thought the two had nothing to do with each other, but then I realized, oh no, it does, because the whole album is her sort of like sharding. I didn't want to say
why is that so weird?
It's her just like dumping on her ex-boyfriend. It sounds like nothing but a lost cause, and you do that with your girls. Like that's the video to me read like I'm sort of like over you with my girls. I was crying last night, but now I'm like talking bad about you and my little homegirls, and we're partying and turning up. Like I gave me that, and I sort of like connected it in my brain through that sort of lens.
Billie Eilish is about to have a big next year and a half, because you know this album and then the James Bond thing we all forgot about, which is still an incredible song, which I still love.
Yeah,
about to have a big next year. So
I'm telling you, when we talk about our pop Mount Rushmore, just know she's on it. Then 21 Savage Betrayed was dope. I know we just said about not doing all these. I'm sorry. I just listened to a lot of the music this week.
We're going to get better. It's okay. It's okay.
That was dope. And I just want to shout out Last Train Home, the song by John Mayer. I haven't listened to the EP, but that song, I was like, oh, like John Mayer sort of has been in his bag too. The way we said Lana Del Rey does her bag well, I feel like John Mayer does his bag well.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. He's a legend, basically.
You know?
It's just ask Avery's brother.
Yeah. My brother's probably been bumping that all week.
Yeah.
All weekend. Late at Night by Roddy Ricch.
Getting Devin on this podcast.
Roddy Ricch is just great. I'm a big
Late at Night by Roddy Ricch. Oh, that's a good one too. Roddy Ricch is just a banger king. He's just good. Man, he's just good. Pops him out, and I still think that song with Corday should be bigger.
I agree.
When the album comes out. Okay. So.
All right, cool. I like this new release conversation. It was longer than when we planned for it.
It was good, but it was a good conversation. Some good conversations within the conversation.
So I am so excited for our main discussion. I almost wish we clipped the intro from last week and put it in this so we could figure out how we foretold this episode. Now I'm gonna pause in case we decide to do that.
Okay.
Kidding. Avery was looking at me like
work for me.
Sorry. But basically we all know Rap Caviar put out their Mount Rushmore meme, like we kind of referenced. Initially it was Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and J. Cole on a sort of a Mount Rushmore. And the question was, who's the fourth spot on the Mount Rushmore of the 2010s? Nicki Minaj ultimately won that poll. And to me, that's the answer that makes sense. So honestly, I said this last week. Mm-hmm. Misogyny and sexism are the only reason you take anyone else.
And for the poll was the votes, that they had available were Nicki Minaj, Future, Kanye West, and Lil Wayne. And then under the comments, a lot of people had their own picks too. So. And
Kanye West was second place, and it's like Kanye West would be there for the 2000s. He wouldn't be there for the 2010s. Like honestly, the whole thing was a slight. Nicki Minaj responded to that, but that inspired a larger conversation about what would the Mount Rushmore of the 2020s look like if we had to guess now, like based off of what we know now, 1 year into the 2020s, who do we think could be on that Mount Rushmore? Now, what we're really asking and saying that is that someone who's already established as of now, That is someone who has already been putting out good music. And that's someone who we could say, I could see you having a big influence over this generation. Like your music is different or substantive enough to impact the generation. At least that's the way I took it. That's sort of the rubric I put for myself. Because when I looked at Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick, and Nicki Minaj, the things they all have in common is by 2010, each of them already, I think, was sort of like on the rise, especially Nicki Minaj. But I think they had all put out their debuts at that point. They all were sort of getting some notoriety. And like within the next year or two, they all sort of already had like a presence that was established. So I was looking at people who've already done that now, like 1 year into the 2020s, who's shown me that you can do this. And it was tough, but I did it. I did it for rap.
So we
I don't know
all
how
put our amazing Photoshop skills together.
Yes.
And created 3 Mount Rushmore graphics for your viewing pleasures.
For your viewing pleasure.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Also, something I also wanted to mention about this Mount Rushmore thing. Oh, actually, no. Let's get into it because then let's get into the conversation. So
wait, I want to ask? Did any of you guys have? I just told you what I did when I was going, like how I frame my mind. Did any of you have like a differing like process for how you were doing your 2020s picks?
You know what? Mine was a little different, a little bit, because actually no, it's some similarities there, but I didn't go off of like. You said the Drake, those people, they're not allowed. You didn't say they're not allowed, but you just can't see them being on like the next one.
That was off pod comment.
Oh, no.
No, you're right.
Oh,
So I did say that. I did say it.
It's fine. But I kind of went off of like, I'm kind of with you. Like they kind of have to be established or on the rise. There has to be some kind of debut. I think
disagree with that right now. Honestly, because I think the way like our media cycle works right now and the way that people consume stuff right now, I think like by the end of this 10 years, I think like we might get 3 out of 4, but that 4th one's gonna be someone we haven't heard of until.
I think so, but I don't think. Yeah. No, it's so crazy though. I kind of agree with you, but I don't think they're gonna show up like in 2025. Like for example, if we're doing that, then like Travis Scott would be on the 20.
That's what I think.
Because within like 2015 to like 2020, he had a meteoric rise up to the top, but he's not on our decade
It wasn't
list.
Enough to put him on the 2010s list.
I feel like next year, like 2022.
Yeah, I feel
right.
That's the cutoff. That's like the cutoff. Yeah, that's like it's like 2012. You have to have some kind of presence.
Yeah. Think about who we've gotten over the last 3 years already. Like from 2018 on, we've gotten Meg, we've seen DaBaby explode, we've seen Lil Baby, we've seen like a lot of these people who were thinking are going to have these meteoric rises sort of just popped up on the scene only 2 years ago. So you absolutely could have other people like pop up. But it was just fun guessing.
Yeah, so, I agree. I just don't think it's going to be like later in the decade, like in the 2024, 25. Like they're going to be the next decade. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Okay. So I get Avery. You're first here in this list. So let's Avery's Mount Rushmore. So who's gonna be?
All right. So I have.
This for rap too. Rap.
For rap.
Yeah.
I have Drake.
Or we just show all of them because this is a funny view.
Yeah.
So I have Drake, Meg Thee Stallion, Bad Bunny, and Roddy Ricch. So Drake and Meg Thee Stallion, I feel like were like easy choices.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then Roddy Ricch, I just like who's like popping right now, and I think like who has like all the tools in his toolkit. I think like he has it.
Ooh,
like he's line. Like, I think he's just got like he's got everything, right? Like he can rap, he can sing, he's good looking, he plays piano, he's a good performer. I remember his like the BET Awards last year where he's in the Lamborghini on stage and it was like going around.
Marketable.
Like, he just seems like a cool dude. He's got the good story. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everything's in his corner to, like, kind of propel him into stardom. And he's already got the big hit. So,
absolutely.
I think he's ready. And then Bad Bunny was my other, like, kind of out of left field, I guess, choice. But I think, like, with U.S. population demographics changing over the next 10 years, where Latino population...
You show me that sociology. Come on.
Right. The demography, I think it's going to change in the next 10 years. I think Latino populations are going to I don't know if it's by the next 10 years or the 10 years after that, but like Latino populations are going to surpass white populations here in the United States
2045.
Yeah, relatively soon. So maybe we're going to see some effects of that. We had Despacito being a huge hit a few years ago. Latin music isn't foreign to American popular music. And Bad Bunny, maybe a lot of people be in my lane of like, I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds good. So he also released a single this week that was great. So
I mean, yeah, that's another thing. It's like Bad Bunny, even though he's a international artist, he's well known among the American population.
He was just on The Shop with LeBron and Jay-Z.
That with LeBron, yeah. And J Balvin and all those other people are really well-known artists in the Americas. So
he already has a song with Drake. You know, like Beyonce's getting into Spanish music. Like it's happening. So
yeah. And Avery, I looked at your list and I was like, this is a really good Mount Rushmore, because I didn't think about Bad Bunny, but I think you make an excellent point. America's already always been very globalized, but we're even more now, I think, in our current times, especially that our interests are like, we're seeing Latin artists get a better footing in American music. We're seeing South Korean artists see better footing in American music. Like, our interests are just expanding to a more of a worldwide lens. And like you said, by 2045, we're going to be a majority country. So like, like I think you'll see it easier for people like Bad Bunny to rise. So I like that pick a lot. Roddy Ricch was the one artist who like I spent the most time, because he initially was on my list and I replaced him, and I'll get into why.
Okay.
And Drake, and look, I'm just gonna do mine, and it'll explain why I didn't have Drake or Meg. Okay, so when I was choosing my Mount Rushmore, I was very much so thinking of who is going to be able to, who's not only gonna pop up but sustain that for the entire decade. And while Drake is very much so huge right now, I just think Drake's gonna say, I'm gonna take a break in like 3 or 4 years, because Drake's been sort of like working nonstop since 2008. And
that's fair.
I think you can do that, but I think we see most rappers who have a decade of success, eventually they try to branch out into other efforts, whether that's business or production or something. And I don't think Drake's gonna be different. So I think the 2010s will be Drake's peak. I don't know if that's my right word, because I'm not even sure Drake's reached his peak yet. But
I don't know.
I safe pick. But anyway, so who I chose, and I didn't choose Mag. I chose. We'll get into mine. So I chose Jid. Or JID, don't know what his name is still, 3 years in the game.
I think he goes with both. I think he goes with both. He said on the record both.
But I chose Jid, Lil Uzi Vert, Doja Cat, and Lil Baby. And let me tell you why I chose all of the people on this list. I chose Jid because I do think he's my J. Cole of my 2020s list. Not only because he signed to Dreamville, but he's a rapper who's incredibly gifted lyrically and like technically. He has the talent to make the songs, and he makes quality music every time. And that consistency from a new artist, I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 other artists who I think have been that consistent with everything they've been on. Like, I can't think of a Jid feature that's been a miss, a Jid album that's been a miss. Even Spillage Village, even though we had differing opinions, that to me was a great project. Every song Jid was on. Jid was honestly the MVP of the Dreamville compilation album. Like, I just think his rise is going to be so like substantive once it actually happens, that I could see him by like 2023, 2024 being that rapper who's putting out these products to like huge amounts of success and sustaining that to the end of the decade. So like, I'm optimistic about that for Jid.
I disagree. I'll tell you why later.
You said you disagree?
I'll disagree with that. I'll tell you why later.
Okay, well, forget you then. Lil Uzi Vert, I put him on here because I don't get it, but he has a huge grasp on Gen Z, sort of that population. Yeah. And even though I can say I don't understand it, Eternal Take wasn't for me, that was still considered one of the best albums of 2020. Still don't get it, but it was. He has just already this insignificant influence over the younger population, and I think that's going to carry him through easily through the 2020s. I chose Doja Cat. Some people may say, oh, well, she is a pop star. Doja Cat gives me Nicki Minaj in the sense of all of her mixtapes before, products before, EPs before were pretty rap. Like, I think people called her a female rapper pretty confidently. I think now that she's in the mainstream, she's been leaning more into pop for the audience development sort of aspect of it and the globalization aspect of it. But I think eventually, like, she still considers herself a female rapper, and just like Nicki Minaj, she still may turn back and lean more heavily into that in the coming years, which I think she's gonna do. So, and I just think she's versatile. Like, people may be saying, oh, well, Meg, why isn't Meg on here for you? The reason Meg isn't on here for me is because Good News opened my eyes to the fact that I don't know what Meg's second album sounds like. I can't predict it yet. I'm not saying that's going to be fair. I'm not saying that's going to be good or bad, but after Good News, I don't know what a Meg Thee Stallion album, like, I don't know what different looks like or what growth looks like. I can't imagine that. Again, that's not a slight to her now. That's not saying that she's not capable of that. I'm just saying, when I think of who's going to be on this, is someone who can like have albums for the next 10 years that, that keep on getting better and better. And unfortunately for me, like, someone like Doja Cat has shown me the versatility that she can like keep me on my toes and interested just with like singles from the same album, like, that's hard to do. And then Lil Baby's just, I think the the next generation rapper. Like that's the sound, that's the look, that's like he's sort of carrying the branch of like what trap has become and like Young Thug and like I think he sort of represents that sphere of rap and what it looks like today, and I think he's going to be successful going on. That was my long-winded explanation for all of them, but that is my Mount Rushmore.
You know what's so interesting? Do you want me to? Yeah. The thing about Jid, you know what's so crazy? I love Jid. I think Jid's an incredible artist. I think he's amazing. Jid is already like people know who he is and stuff like that. He still makes incredible music and like that, but correct me if I'm wrong. I hear a lot of people make this comparison. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Jid is Dreamville's Kendrick Lamar, like he was in early 2000s."
I've heard that. Yeah,
you've heard that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, with like at this point, Jid is on his like second album. He had his second album with Dreamville. He has another one. I'm really interested in how this next album's gonna do, because then I think people are gonna like it. But if we're talking about who's gonna run the 2010s, how well is it gonna perform in terms of like how many people are gonna be listening to it, like how many eyes are gonna be on it? Because a lot of people do like Jid. But whether it's the detriment, you know, it's Jid, because, you know, people compare it to Kendrick, but Kendrick's huge. He's on the little of J. Cole, you know, who's basically over his label. Is Jid going to be able to reach that level of success? I don't know. I think critically it's going to be incredible. But is it going to be the next thing? That's a really tough thing to do. And he has, remember Kendrick had songs and stuff like that. Remember on his first album, he had, Swim Pools, which is his hit.
That was his second album. Don't forget Section 80.
I know that's I'm saying that his debut album, his big major label debut, you know what I'm saying? Is Jid gonna have a hit? Is it gonna be something else? I don't know. I'm just really interested to see if he's gonna be one of those guys that's gonna be like, he ran the 2010s. I mean the 2020s, you know.
Also, Jid's a little old.
And that's the thing. He's like 28. That's old though. He came in.
People for a rapper, y'all. Drake is 38, so that means at the start of the decade, Drake was 28.
Drake is 34. He was 24 when he started.
Wrong again.
Oh, Drake 34.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. And
which means he was like 23 when the decade.
That's
started.
the thing. When Jid came in, when people started hearing about Jid, he was like 25, and if people thought he was like 21, 20, it was like, oh, but no, he's older already. He's already
Jid's not old. One and I think that's all.
He's a little older than you would probably expect someone who's going to want to blow up in the next 2 years.
Exactly.
I think that's very fair. Oh my God, I think that's very fair to me. Very fair to me.
So I love Jid though. It's going to be tough for me to think him being one of the 20.
I think that's fair criticism. My only response to it would say, Jid has already done a lot without major playlisting or major featuring or major stuff like that. I can imagine his next album being the one that like vies for that has all that promotion and weight of Dreamville behind it. And I could see it being bigger than his previous releases. So I think you're right. It depends on what his next album does, but I don't know. I see it.
And for Doja Cat, I can see it, but not on the rap Mount Rushmore. I can see her on a pop Mount Rushmore for that.
I would put her on either one. I'd like, if we do pop, I'd put her on my pop as well. Because I think she has the versatility. I could just see, part of me could see her leaning back into rap. Because she still does that, you know?
She still does that. And that album is still heavily, it's pop and rap a little bit. Both, a little bit of both.
There's a balance to it.
I like the Nicki Minaj comparison. I like that a lot. So yeah.
Noah, so who you got?
Who I got? Show it. Okay.
This is a good one too.
I'm kind of gonna go from right to left on mine for audio listeners. You can't really see, but I have Drake, Megan Thee Stallion, Roddy Ricch, and Travis Scott. I'll start with Drake. I'm kind of with Nnamdi a little bit, like if he just stops releasing music, but I think Drake's gonna keep releasing music, and I think the only person who can defeat Drake is himself. And if that's the thing, then I'm just gonna keep Drake on there, because that's like, even though we think he's gonna go into the business thing and he's already in that, Drake's just too powerful. And
but I thought Drake was 38. Being more aware of the fact that he's 34 sort of changes things for
me. And the thing is like, what's so crazy? And we always talk about J. Cole, but what's so crazy? Like Drake, nobody says, "Oh, look at this old guy trying to get look at this old guy." Like people say that about J. Cole, even Kendrick. People are like, "Man, get this old rap out my face." Kids who are like 12, 13 love Drake, and think about 10 years from now, those kids are still. That's a lot of kids that's still going to be listening to Drake a lot, heavily. You know what I'm saying? And what's so crazy? I got mad about this, but like DJ Khaled might be right. Drake might be the Michael Jackson of rap. Like dude might just be all level.
Wait, of rap? That's not a debate. That Drake.
No, I know. Oh yeah,
we've never had a rapper like Drake. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like remember Michael Jackson when he was older, all ages loved him. I'm thinking Drake is gonna be older and everybody's gonna love him no matter what. So that's why, unless Drake just stops making music,
I replace Drake with Jen Online.
Drake is too powerful. Drake is too powerful.
He's too powerful. He's too big to fail.
What you said is perfect. Like the only person who can stop Drake is Drake. Like
That's exactly right.
Drake's not on this is if Drake decides to stop making music.
Like even though I love Kendrick a lot, I love Kendrick, I love J. Cole, but I can eventually see in like the younger crowd being like, I can see Kendrick still putting out incredible albums, but not them being as popular, you know, as like on chart things. You know what I'm saying? People like
I can see Drake going down like a Jay-Z lane where he like it gets like the music gets more sparse, but it's still like good.
That's what I predict.
He like goes into more of a business route, right?
Even bigger than Jay-Z.
That's what I predict.
Still call Jay-Z an old man. Stop rapping. People still say that.
No, but Avery, I think that's exactly what I see for Drake, though. I see Drake going down the Jay-Z path, and I'm like, but you wouldn't have put Jay-Z based on what he did in the 2010s on that Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
but it's like, also like whatever Drake does is successful, and he hasn't missed yet. And it's just like I don't know if
he's missed a few times.
But like it's like
you're right.
It's just like every time he does something, it's so atypical, and you're like, all right, I guess it's gonna work now. Like
exactly.
Even when something flops, it's good. Like Tootsie Slide, like
that's what I said. Exactly.
Had a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Even if an album isn't critically great, like he doesn't have like the last couple albums have been critically great, but it still hits. It's still a success for Drake.
He's mastered what the hit is, right? He's honestly defined what the current rap hit.
Yeah, absolutely, totally.
So that's
now too powerful
for me. And I'm not doing this just to put the the token woman in here. I think Megan Thee Stallion is truly one of the biggest rap artists and one of the biggest stars on the come up right now. And I do think the tailing off in the 2010s matters going into what's going on in 2020.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with you, Nnamdi, with the good news album. Like you do have to have albums because that kind of can perform and stuff like that. But it was kind of buying between me, Megan and Doja Cat. But I think Megan's just that girl, man. People just love this woman. And I think and this is a part of it, people really love her personality. It's just a person. They like, wow, Megan, look at her on Twitter. I mean, look at her on Instagram. Look at her dancing, showing off with her friends. Look at her twerking at the pool and stuff like that. People like that. People want to feel, want to be in their lives. Hey, people love that Drake has a kid now. Drake's even bigger now. He's probably like, thanks, Pusha T. Like he brought his son to the Billboard Awards and people loved it. So I think Megan, not only her music, which is popular on TikTok trends, whatnot, social media trends and whatnot, people really love her as just an overall person, which I think is important, and as a personality.
When do we get the Drake and Megan collab?
It's coming. It's coming.
That's coming.
It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on the Drake Deluxe album. Okay. Yeah, Deluxe, not the Deluxe.
It's gonna be like the All Me of the new album.
Yeah, exactly. With Doja Cat or something. He's like, something weird. Roddy Ricch, I'm with you, Avery, 100%. Roddy Ricch, I agree. He has the personality. He's honestly, like, hearing him in interviews, he's really like a really toned down guy who like really cares about the morality of like making music. Like, I'm not just gonna put out music. I'm really about the process, stuff like that. I agree. He's a great rapper. He's melodic, which is important now in rap. He makes great bangers
so well.
He has he's a talented artist, and Nnamdi's regretting everything he's
I know, because I was just so split between Roddy Ricch. I think it was like Roddy Ricch or Lil Baby for me. And I was like,
which is fair.
I went back and forth like 3 times about
I think Roddy Ricch is like the prospect. Like can he put it together? He has it.
Exactly. He's like the Trevor Lawrence. It's like, yo, this man my number 1 pick.
Exactly.
Done. Can he get it done? And he has everything there for him to get done. He's like somebody said, the Squad Dead 4000 said this. He said he's like the soul of the streets or something like that. Like he just like he brings it to the mainstream. I know. Good line. So yeah, Roddy Ricch he's killing it right now. So, and he had a big 2019, that last album going into 2020. So yeah. And this one, which nobody had, which I was
that's actually a great pick. I can't believe I forgot about.
No, I can't wait to get into this one. Let's go. Come on, go ahead.
La Flame.
Cactus Jack.
We lit. Cactus Jack.
La Flame. That's Gucci.
That's Gucci. Oh, what's his thing?
Huncho Jack. No, Cactus Jack. Something Jack.
Oh, Gucci. We still out there. That's what Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack. Whatever. I said La Flame. I don't know. It don't matter. Whatever. Travis freaking Scott. You know what's crazy? I'm not even like a Travis Scott fan totally, but like I said, I think what matters going on, like what happened the second half of like the decade, matters going into the next. And Travis Scott is a freaking superstar in terms of Okay, let me just get into all things he's in terms of like apparel and like what he's in. He's with Nike. He has a basically signature line with Nike that goes crazy every time. Even Drake had stuff with Jordan, but it didn't go as crazy with like Travis Scott. People are killing people for these Travis Scott shoes. That's one thing. And the thing with, and that's kind of like my point. Like everything he does on the side is so huge. Like everything in terms of like apparel, the McDonald's thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's an artist that uses hype as well as Travis Scott.
That's the thing.
That's very true.
His hype, that's the thing. I agree. I don't think his music matches for me, but like the Astroworld hype before it came out was out of this freaking. It was out of this freaking. It was like, oh,
mainstream meme.
Yeah, mainstream meme. And Travis Scott, whether you like him or not, dude, it's just on another level. And I think going into 2015, going to 2016 on, this next album he's about to release, it's about to be a huge banger. I just know it's going to be monumental. It's about to go. Travis Scott is Travis Scott about to be the biggest artist in the world? Like,
I was going to say, I'm so conflicted on my list now. I was going to say, I was going to disagree with you on Travis Scott, but a lot of what you're saying is true. And I think now that I think about it, I think if anyone is poised to take over the Drake hit-making mantle, it's probably Travis Scott.
You know what's so crazy?
And I say that because I was going to like criticize and say, oh, well, like, look, I think the bundling rule is going to hurt Travis Scott probably more.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But even with that, Travis Scott's album, I just Googled it, the one that's expected to come out soon. I think it's called Utopia. He's released 2 singles from it. I'm annoyed because one is Highest in the Room, which came out in 2019.
That sounds
good. That's his lead single for this album. The other one is Franchise from that McDonald's deal. Highest in the Room came out in 2019.
Yeah. And then there was the remix with
that is so.
I brought that up to say, but it's not.
Yeah, I brought that up to say both of those songs debuted at #1 on release. Even Franchise, even though we made fun of Franchise, it went from like #1 to 50 or something. But like, he knows how to either like work the system enough or just make hit-making music enough. And I do think that'll have a huge, that'll work for him. I just wonder if Travis Scott's, he's been in the game for a while, He's been in the game for a while, and I look forward to seeing how his next album does. Because a little part of me does question if Astroworld was the peak.
Which is a fair comparison. I was like, I'm not. That's the thing. This next album really is going to show a lot. But the Highest in the Room, the fact that came out 2 years ago, and I feel like when the album comes out, it's going to go back to #1, which is freaking ridiculous. I was about to be like, wait, isn't Highest in the? And bro, it's Travis freaking Scott, dude.
That doesn't mean that doesn't carry as much weight for me as I think it does for you,
bro. Okay, I don't for you. These kids out here love this freaking man. No. Let me tell you, it's crazy. People, when McDonald's thing, people were peeling off the Travis Scott posters from the McDonald's thing. I
remember we talked about
reselling them. Dude, this is ridiculous. Selling the posters from the McDonald's stores. Travis Scott is a freaking superstar. People think this man is a god. It's ridiculous. I'm not there, but
that's very fair.
Remember when him, Drake, and who else was it? Ninja was a part of it. They all played Fortnite a couple years ago, and it's the highest. It was like the highest watched stream on Twitch ever.
Yeah,
and that was probably also because Drake was there. But like, it was crazy. It went crazy.
It was crazy. But
I think Travis Scott's a very good pick because again, I don't know anyone else who's poised to take over that Drake sort of mantle than him. Yeah. So I think I
mean, nobody's gonna take it. And you know what? Also, I want to mention this too. Considering, it's so crazy. We would have said this list like 5 years ago. We would have said Chance. For somebody else.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Who do we think would have been on this list from like, just
5 years ago?
4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago?
Chance hurts. That's the big one.
Chance was the one that everybody thought is like, yo, he's gonna be the guy.
Chance is the one that got away.
He's the one that got away.
I'm curious, none of us put Cardi B on here. Why?
It would have been a really good pick too. I can't even lie.
Because I think 3 years ago, anyone would have said Cardi B.
I'd still say Cardi B.
Even now, I think it's still very much weird to say that.
I agree.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not as worried about her second album, considering these 2 singles that came out were just smash hits. The WAP and then Up.
That album's probably already gold just off of those 2 singles.
You're absolutely correct. That can happen. So that was mine. Yeah.
I have one more question about Travis Scott. Do you think the Travis Scott merch industrial complex has become like its own thing now? Do you think like the bundling is actually going to hurt? Like I feel like his merch is just so big now by itself.
Well, I think his merch is always in, but he had the clothing line before. Like, I think he's known for that. I think the bundling's gonna hurt because he used to be able to also sell like albums with that. Like,
Right.
selling
Yeah.
a shirt is cool, but I can sell you a shirt and an album and get the sale for it. Like, and I know
That's
you,
true.
you can still do that. It's just going to be counted differently. I forget the exact rules, but I just remember saying I think the bundle change is going to hurt him when one of these singles came out and it went to #1, but it sold far less than what some of his other singles have sold.
If
I think that's because he couldn't do the merch, or you know, even his Quavo collaboration and like the few
that
projects
was
he
weak.
released after Astroworld, neither really sort of matched that
Fair.
success. So I think that's why I was like,
it's so crazy, and I'm not this kind of guy that subscribe to this totally, but like the parallels between Travis Scott and Kanye are kind of creepy because like they're both in like the Kardashian world. They're both into the fashion thing. They both have their own shoes, basically.
yeah, but you want to know what the difference is?
Kanye's just a better artist.
Well, no, I just think Kanye stepped into that Kardashian world towards the end of his peak. And Travis Scott sort of got in that world. Then I think Astroworld sold 537,000 first week, 270,000 of which were pure album sales. So like that was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
And I'm wondering if like this new album when it comes out will do anything close to that.
I think it will, but we'll see.
I'm gonna throw another name out.
Okay.
Tyler the Creator.
No.
I don't think so.
Look, because my thing is, I'm also factoring in the human aspects of this. Like, Travis the Creator has been making music since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
So it's Tyler the Creator.
Like, I've been making that music for like, I've been listening to that music for a decade already. So for me to see someone who can, keep that momentum.
Tyler the Creator has been too.
Next decade. Wait, what?
You're saying Tyler the Creator. I agree with you, but
I said Tyler. Did I not say Tyler?
Oh, I thought you meant Travis Scott.
Oh, I'm talking about Tyler the Creator.
My bad,
I guess you can say that about both of them, but I was
bad.
referring to Tyler the Creator specifically.
That's my
and just
fault.
saying like, so me thinking that you can keep that momentum going for the next 10 years, that's hard. Like even Drake has shown us that like coming up with new original ideas constantly and how to make that album and make that hit, that takes work. Especially in a game like rap where it's sort of like frowned upon to rely on a team of writers unlike pop, so I that's why it's harder for me to see a Drake or a Travis Scott or a Tyler the Creator on here for the 2020s, because it's like I think Drake will be like a Kanye who could have been on that 2010s list, but we acknowledge he had his peak during a different period.
Yeah. Tyler the Creator, I think is still going to be relevant, but he's just not going to be on that level.
I got a couple more that I can throw out. Polo G and Rod Wave.
I have to see more.
I have to see more. Yeah, I have to see more.
Right?
I have to wait a little bit.
I feel more. They could though.
They could, but
no, they very much, especially Rod Wave, because I like Rod Wave a lot. But I just think I have to see what they do. I need to see what their consistency looks like.
They've been only popping for like a year now, so we gotta wait.
That's true.
Like we didn't put the baby on here. Let's talk about that.
I don't think he has the longevity.
I think people are gonna get tired out, and I just feel the controversy coming. He gonna hit.
Hey, but can I ask you a question? And again, I'm not trying to like crap on Meg because I do love Meg. I swear I love Meg. But it's funny to me that you say you don't see the longevity for the baby, but you do for Megan Thee Stallion.
I just find Megan Thee Stallion's personality outside of rap just more tantalizing than the baby. The baby, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a big part of it. I think we have to bring into that. Like, I think that's fair with the music thing. That's totally fair because a lot of people compare them like he's the female version, he's the male version of whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I think Megan's just more likable. The baby is not very
she's more talented. Like
I think she's more talented.
I don't know if she's on. Well, we know she hasn't unlocked what she can do yet. So
yeah. But
people love like Meg's old stuff too. Like
and she's
so
and she's beautiful, man. Like,
yeah.
Come on, you know what I'm saying? Nobody will look at the baby.
I think Meg,
she's in like Revlon commercials or something. She's in like beauty commercials.
Break, and I am optimistic that when she comes back, it'll be with some.
I hope.
I still maintain. I think Good News is probably Rush.
I was like, who doesn't like Meg Thee Stallion?
That's the thing.
You're hard pressed to find someone who doesn't like her.
If you don't like her, you sexist. So.
Exactly.
Do we want to quickly? Well, wait, but I'm not gonna. Let me not rush this out. Was there any other people we wanted to highlight for not making our Mount Rushmore? Talk about Avery. Did you have any other names?
I don't think so. I couldn't really think of anyone else.
Y'all didn't respond to Cardi B well enough for me, but I'll let that go.
I said it would have been just as good a pick as anybody else. I think it would have been just as good a pick as anybody else.
That's tough.
I feel like she's like first one or two out for me.
Excuse me.
But I also feel like she could go in that pop lane as well.
Yeah.
So
I got a question though for 2010s, and I don't know, this kind of cheating, and does he count? Does Anderson .Paak count for rap?
I wish. People,
I think
he's too
R&B
cool for people.
Yeah.
He's too cool. He's too big, or he's too
He's
good.
not a rapper. I don't think. Do you think Anderson .Paak thinks he's a rapper? I don't think he's a rapper.
No, I don't think
He
so.
probably just says artist, even though he does rap. But yeah, he's just an artist. So.
I mean, I'm still shocked at the fact that "Leave the Door Open" was his first Hot 100 debut. Like,
It's
I still
absurd.
struggle to like even conceptualize the fact that this man has been making that good of music for this long and has not. I always assumed that they were just charting, maybe not like your top 10 or top 20, but that they were just there somewhere.
He's been making music since I was in middle school. He's been around for a while. So
yeah, long time.
I want to transition into pop kind of quickly. We didn't make graphics, but we did talk about, we were wondering who would be on our individual list. So I think this one, audience, I'm sorry if you're an audio listener, you're equipped for this anyway. We're just going to say them. You're not going to be able to see them.
I think we're going to have a lot of overlap with this one anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me, and I've said this to you all, I don't remember if it was on the pod or if it was in a text, but I've said it to you all, where I was like, my pop Mount Rushmore, I'm already putting Billie and Olivia Rodrigo on there.
yeah,
Those two are like my locked in, like those are sitting. The other two are who is like up is what's up for debate for me, because I could see like there being a spot for like Doja Cat. If she continues to go into pop, I absolutely think Doja Cat could still be on there. I put her for both, because I'm like, whatever genre she decides to lean into more, I could see her like getting on that wall. And then there's also like a lane for like a Harry Styles to me, or like a Shawn Mendes maybe, or like a,
I have zero men on my pop list.
Oh, Avery, who's your list? Let's get into it.
Let's get into it now. I have one that's I kind of mentioned it in the text messages, but we'll see.
I have Billie and Olivia. I'm on the Olivia hype train, obviously. I have Dua Lipa.
Yeah, okay.
I saw the vision during the Grammys. Like, she can dance now.
I'm there.
She's
That's
gorgeous.
She's a model.
Yeah, she's literally a model. She can sing.
Yeah.
The songs are amazing. When I was at graduation, when we finished the ceremony, the song that came on was Levitating. And
yeah, I need it. Yeah.
Audible gasp in my section of like where we were sitting. I was like, and everyone loved it. We like love it. Like, it's such a good song.
All the moms were like, "Oh yeah."
Everyone loves Levitating. Who doesn't love that song? So
I'm formally updating my list to include Dua Lipa.
So I had to put Dua Lipa there, and my fourth one's kind of just wishful thinking for myself. But I have Lorde in there. I have Lorde.
Oh,
Lorde.
She has to actually release music. But
Stan alert.
Yeah, I was.
No, but can I tell you why? Look, let me say this. My hot take: if we did a pop of the 2010s, no, I wouldn't. But if we were I wouldn't do that.
You can't.
But my thing is I said that because I think Lorde introduced the genre of pop that's the most popular now. Mm-hmm. This whole sad girl pop, like
Taylor did that. I could have put Taylor on here too, but
where like vocals aren't the priority, but it's like emotion and raw, like vulnerability is sort of like leads the way. That was Lorde to me, and like that's how I don't think you get like that. I think that's why we have some of the Billie and Olivia songs we do. So I think Lorde has already influenced his current crop. If
she's like literally my age. She's our age.
She's our age. So you're right. Avery, I'm like going with your list. Like, throw mine away. I'm on Avery's list now officially.
Yeah, that's true. But like, of course, Lorde has to actually release music, which like she
just has to release the music because the talent's there for sure.
Yeah, she's hiding. She's behind her Onion Ring account on Instagram. So.
Okay, there you
go. Adele.
Oh, no. I didn't. Oh, hold on. Oh, I was actually gonna mention her, but Avery, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm done.
Okay. Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish is kind of cemented. Even though Olivia Rodrigo people just found out about her about 5 months ago. Yeah, 5 months ago, but it just feels inevitable. Honestly, it feels inevitable. She's kind of like Thanos now. I am inevitable. But the two other ones, and I'm with you, Avery, on Dua Lipa, 100%. I am on the Dua Lipa hype train, especially since that album was so great to me, man. Y'all know I'm not the biggest pop guy, but that was such a great.
I shall say, it took everything in me not to put Ariana Grande on here.
Oh.
It took everything in me not to put her on here.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Ariana Grande is one of those artists that's just like super consistent. I think she can be consistent throughout I don't know if she's ever gonna reach the peak of like
these past 3. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's
Hold on.
a really sorry. Go on.
Now let me tell you guys for this fourth spot. I consider a lot of people actually. Ariana Grande, I consider heavily. Adele, I know she don't release music, but whenever Adele releases music, I think people forget she's the biggest artist in the freaking world, even bigger than Taylor. She sells better than any artist in history. No, she sells better than anybody in history when she releases music. She does. It's a fact. Look at those first week numbers from the last album. It's like 35.
No, I know her first week is crazy. I just don't know if she has more because she's only done 2
No,
albums with those numbers.
No, I agree. That's that's my only reason. But I'm saying when she releases, she's the biggest artist. Like she sells better than anybody in history ever has for like a single album. But she just doesn't release enough. So that's why I'm like, you still have to be out here. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned this in the group chat. I'm so close to thinking The Weeknd. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm too close to picking The Weeknd. I know R&B and all that, but he's really leading this pop thing the last 2 albums, and I think that's just where the direction he's going. And I think The Weeknd's just too talented he has everything in terms of like popularity and critical acclaim to be that artist. And you know what? I think I'm gonna go with The Weeknd. I think it really.
Yeah, I'm actually getting.
I think the risk you run with The Weeknd is like if you look at what's happening right now, are you like, is this his peak right now?
No, that's the thing. That's fair. That's fair. But
I don't think it is.
But people, that's the thing. But people thought his last album, not the album. I'm talking about Beauty Behind the Madness. They thought that was gonna be people thought that was gonna be his peak, and he surpassed with Blind Light. So I'm gonna go with The Weeknd because he has everything. But the only thing that's bad is he could go into the R&B thing and just ruin everything.
That's what I was gonna say. Because my thing is, I don't think The Weeknd even knows what like direction he wants to go with that.
That's my only thing.
I think deep down, The Weeknd wants to be a pop star.
I do.
I think he does really, but also but he's just better suited as an R&B star. So it's like he has a voice. He doesn't really dance. His performances aren't. He doesn't really perform. So like that sort of hurts the pop element thing. But I absolutely think like you're right. Like he could absolutely be considered for that role. I want to redo my list now because the whole thing is like, if anything, it's gonna be all women. Like it's gonna be like Billie, Olivia, probably Dua Lipa, and probably Doja Cat for me because I could see Doja Cat staying in pop before I could see The Weeknd. But I like this conversation. This is a fun debate. Does anyone have any last minute takes? Are we good with this?
I'm good. Chill it.
I'm good. Yeah.
Cool. A nice little conversation there. We're
good exercise.
Hour and 5 minute mark. Hey, let's run through Billboard really quick. All I really want to highlight on the Hot 100 is BTS scored another number 1. Yo, this is their 4th number 1 in the last 9 months alone.
Could have put in pop maybe.
No, honestly, like BTS could be in the pop thing. This is in the last 9 months alone. This is their 4th number 1. Like that's sort of significant. Absurd. And I want to say did it with like. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a massive amount of streaming numbers. I'm also going to highlight the fact that Olivia Rodrigo pulled a J. Cole. And I say that because she has every single track within the top 40, which is actually a very super rare feat to do. So the fact that 2 artists did it back to back is sort of insane. But yeah, she has all of them are on there. I believe the highest one is number 2 and 3 on this chart. Are what Good For You and
Deja
Vu. Driver's License is somewhere on there.
Yeah.
Spread out all over this chart. Hence why I'm fairly confident that Olivia Rodrigo is going to be on that list for pop in the next couple of years because we just met her 5 months ago and look at this.
Exactly.
Her ascent is like wild.
Absolutely.
And then over on the Billboard 200, she continued that dominance. She has now officially scored the biggest first week sales of 2021 with 295,000 units first week. That beat J. Cole by, I believe.
J. Cole?
That beat J. Cole by, I think, 10,000.
Wow.
I think J. Cole was like 285, yeah. And I don't remember what else I wrote on here, but I think that was the only really big thing I wanted to highlight on this chart. But there's also, you're seeing sort of the lay of the land now. Off Season's number 2, Morgan Wallen's still there, Moneybagg Yo, Pooh Shiesty, Pop Smoke, I want to say is still in the top, like...
It's like 10.
10, yeah, so that's still amazing. As is Justice, but we're hoping that doesn't stick. I didn't say that. So that's pretty much all I'm highlighting this week. That's your little Billboard highlight. Next week, this is going to look differently. I believe Taylor Swift is back at number 1 on the Billboard 200, and I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know.
How? With what?
And now we know that I think Butter may be number 1 again. So there you go.
Butter's a good song anyway, so
it is a good song.
So.
And then Project of the Week, I'll start. I hyped this person up on new releases. Joy Aladokun. I just want to feel more confident saying her name with a little accent on it too. I need to work on that. But I just discovered her yesterday with new releases, and I immediately like it was 3 in the morning, and I listened to the entire album. Like it was just like that. It's R&B, it's soulful, very good vocals.
Give
I
the
compared it to
comparison.
Leon Lahavas a little bit.
High praise.
That's high
Which
praise.
is,
If you
you
do
know,
that,
anyone who knows us, this is very high praise for us. So I encourage everyone to check it out. I'll definitely be throwing some singles on there
super dope.
on our
I'm gonna
playlist.
check that out. I'm gonna check that out, Nnamdi. Mine is Pray for Haiti, Matt Kami. Y'all always get on me because I put some of this on here. Be like, what the heck is this called? Yeah, Matt Kami's an artist from New Jersey. Super lo-fi, super lo-fi. But Matt Kami, he's done some work. He's worked with people like Griselda, obviously, and Jay-Z. So yeah, Matt Kami's worked with Jay-Z before. He mentions it on this album. But yeah, this is like his big album, major album debut, major label debut, I guess, kind of. Not like a big label, but it's on Griselda. It's under Griselda, and it's executively produced by Westside Gunn. And this is his most complete project to date for me. And y'all know how like Westside Gunn's album is called Pray for Paris, Pray for Haiti. Yeah, you know. Yeah, exactly. But you know, Westside Gunn's not from Paris. He is actually from Haiti. Matt Kami, he's Haitian. So yeah, man, this album is just a banger. It's definitely gonna be in my top 5 mid-year. So lo-fi crew, y'all know what's going on. So yeah.
Yeah, mine's a little indie album by a little small artist named Sean Carter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, also goes by.
Never heard of him.
I believe you mentioned it below.
He goes by Sean.
Sean Carter.
Sean.
His stage name is
I actually believe it's Sean Carter Knowles.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
there
Yeah, you're right.
you go. There you go. There you
Mr.
go.
Knowles.
We'll think on the Black
Jay-Z,
album.
The Black Album. It's a classic. This is like just something I go to if I'm like have nothing else to listen to. It's amazing.
Rich. He's like, man, I want to be rich one day. Let me listen to Jay-Z.
Get my Rock Nation brunch bag.
Would you rather listen to this album or get $1 million? Like,
Or
right here.
would you rather listen to this album or spend 5 minutes with Jay-Z?
Would you rather listen to this album in front of Jay-Z or get $1 million?
Would you rather get $1 million or be on Zoom with no video on?
Those kill me because people try to be fake deep, and it's like if you don't get that bag, what are you
Literally.
about?
Oh man.
Yeah, no, this album's a classic. Every song's a banger. I think Kanye produced some of it too, so it's great.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, great album. I don't really know what else I can say that hasn't been said about one of the greatest rap albums of all time. So
This was fun because now I'm like, who would be on my rap for 2000s? And I'm like, Jay-Z would probably be there, right? He has to.
If it's 2000s, it'd be Jay-Z, Kanye.
Jay-Z, it might it'd be Eminem.
And Eminem, that's mine.
Is
Jay-Z,
that it? Eminem, 50 Cent, Kanye, and Jay-Z.
That's mine.
But I'd want to put Lil Wayne on there.
Oh,
ooh, that's
So
good.
maybe
you know why I can't put Lil Wayne? His peak was too. It was like Carter 3. That was
What
like
about Nelly?
nah. Stop it.
I'm tired of y'all just
Stop it.
We not actually stop. Actually, no. Nelly was one of the biggest rap artists. He was the biggest rap artist.
Respect to Nelly.
But to me, it's Jay-Z, Kanye, Eminem, and 50 Cent because they had the longevity of like.
Yeah, that's a good list. That was easy. I agree with that. Okay, well, this episode's officially been too long. So thank you all for listening and following us all the way to the end. Be on the lookout for our updated 97 Demo playlist this week. And we will catch y'all next week.